Alright folks, welcome back to the IRS GT4 Championship. Race 5 here today at the Red Bull Ring. Pull up the telemetry for you so you can see what's going on with people's tire and fuel. We'll also run through the order and give you a mid-season update on points. So I try to throw an overlay on the screen for you. In pole position, we have our points leader, R1600 Turbo, sitting on 87 points up until now at this point in the season. Starting in second is Timlour, also second in the points in the pro class, 78. Starting third in a stunning performance qualifying, we have GTP Guido, first of the Pro-Am drivers. We'll get to the Pro-Am points in a second. Guido throwing us off with a great performance. Starting fourth, we've got Whitey. He's sitting fourth in points with 60 points, and starting fifth, Mopower, who's sitting third in the points with 67 points. So we're going to see some battling there between those guys trying to make up points and move ahead in the championship. Starting sixth, we have Johnny G, second in the Pro-Ams on the grid, but sitting a ways back in terms of points with 28 points. Starting seventh, Champion Racing, who's got 30 points in the championship, in the Pro-Am class. And then DesrtPenguin, who is the Pro-Am class leader, as you can see here, starting fourth among his Pro-Am drivers. He's sitting on 42 points with a good 6-point margin back to Guido, who's a few positions ahead. So Guido's in a position where he could do some, make some serious headway into taking it to DesrtPenguin in the Pro-Am Championship. Race Fan starting ninth. Race Fan sitting on 30 points. So he's tied in points in the Pro-Am class with Gentleman Racing, and starting a few one car right behind him. So it should be interesting to see what's going on. And starting 10th, we've got Moby, who sits fifth in the Pro class with 54 points. All right, we're coming up to the start finish, getting ready to start. Let's see, the grid will form up 2 by 2. See if we get going, see if we can get through this turn one nice and neat. Yeah, we get through nicely. Little argy-bargy, little contact. The turbo's off to the races, so to speak. A nice several car length lead over Timlour. Timlour's going to really need to capitalize on in this race, maybe get some fast laps. The pole position bonus points already gone to Turbo, so we'll have to see what he can do here. Got a nice battle for third on the podium. Looks like Mopower's already overtaken Whitey, and he's got the inside line, the preferred line here, keeping it tight. Little bit of argy-bargy. Mopower leaves room, but very nice. We see Guido's dropped back. He's hanging on to the tail end of the pros. Looks like DesrtPenguin's made some headway. So he's not going to let Guido make up too much time. Let's go on board with DesrtPenguin. Facing a little slowdown penalty. We're having a little issue with the game. This series runs track limit rules or penalties on week, and it seems like when two cars have even just the slightest bit of contact, whether the cars go offline or not, the game's awarding penalties. I guess thanks to that last update, we weren't having that problem before. It's been since the last update, I guess a couple of 3 weeks now, and it's really caused a stir amongst the community of drivers. But we're gonna hope that they revert the penalty system back to what it was before, because now it's just it's ridiculous. It's wreaking havoc in sport mode lobbies now in here, so hopefully they change that. Nevertheless, enough about the rules. See DesrtPenguin here, pushing hard, looking to stay with Guido, maybe even overtake him. Yeah, Penguin looking strong early on here. Guido able to just stay up ahead, probably benefiting a little bit from the draft off that McLaren of Whitey. Get through the end of the lap here, we'll see what else is going on. Looks pretty tight. Just behind DesrtPenguin. Oh, it gets a little sideways. Now we see that Moby's on Penguin's tail. We got Gentleman Racing right behind Moby there, and Johnny in the mix as well. So the field settled down quickly here, and now we'll get to see how far it's going to spread out. Guido down 2 positions from the starting grid order, where he was in 3rd, but you know what, he's probably looking not to fight with the pros, and just kind of run his own race, stay out of trouble, hold on to the draft. Nice exhaust flames coming out of the side pipes on that car. Very nice. See the rest of the pack. He's gapping them pretty good. Despite being on full ballast, these high horsepower V8 cars really like these long straights. You can really open up and use that torque horsepower advantage. And then the fact that a lot of these straights are essentially uphill, really helping these cars out. Let's see if oh, looks like Moby got ahead of DesrtPenguin. Penguin fell into the clutches. A little argy-bargy going on, I'm guessing, judging by all these penalties floating up above everybody's head. Let's get rid of those name tags over the cars. Oh, and now Johnny G, who gets by Gentleman Racing. Gonna get up there with Moby and mix it up. Oh, Moby gets it sideways. Goes in a little too hot, but holds on to it, keeps it out of the sand. Yeah, this might be where the action is for the next few laps. And Johnny. Oh, and there's Gentleman Racing. Tucks in nice. This is gonna be hectic. DesrtPenguin, Moby, Johnny takes a peek inside. Nope, thinks better of it. Moby shuts the door. Yeah. Nice exit out of that corner, that final corner. He's gonna grab the draft of that giant Lexus. Funny how some of these cars look just have such a stronger physical presence than some of the other ones. Got a mix of Grand Tours and sports cars here in this division, so it's always very interesting. And here we have Johnny alongside Moby. Is he ever gonna? Oh, and he's looking to grab the draft off the Desert Penguin. So he's benefiting there. He's on the inside. Yes, makes it by. Moby relinquishes the position, figuring, you know what? No sense going too wide through that turn. Check on the leaders. Run through the order. Looks like Turbo's running a nice smooth race. No issues. Timlour hanging close. Mopar and Whitey still pretty close together. Mopar hasn't been able to open up a gap on Whitey. Whitey using that McLaren as best as he can in this situation. You know, I still firmly believe that these mid-engine, slightly lower horsepower cars are at a disadvantage compared to the high horsepower like that Viper and that Mustang. There's Guido, still six laps in, still with a reasonable distance within a reasonable distance to the tail end of the pro class. Oh, and Johnny forges ahead. We know Guido's the actual leader in the Pro-Ams, but this little batch of Pro-Ams with Moby mixed in as a pro driver is, yes, very interesting. Of all the Pro-Am drivers, Johnny's got the least. Oh, and he leaves room. Doesn't chop Desert Penguin's nose off. I don't know, man. I don't know if I would have left that much room for Desert Penguin. He's formidable in that Lexus. And he's going to stay alongside here. Johnny, and look to go inside. He's got the favored line. Johnny looks for the cutback. It's tough to make a cutback move on that Lexus because even when it gets a poor exit out of the corner, the torque just drives it right out. So even when you think you got the over-under move, I don't know why I was calling it the cutback over-under move, even when you try it, it's just look at Moby looking for space. He carried so much speed, but he had a car blocking his way. And there comes Johnny taking a peek on the inside. Oh, and he does. He sticks it in there. Very nice, clean move. But here it comes. The torque of the Lexus. Let's see what he's able to do. Let's go on board with Desert Penguin. Just needs a good exit here, one would think. Oh, and he's going to get a penalty on that. Let's see. Yeah, half second added. What the guys are doing is they're just letting these things burn off, especially when they're battling like this. You know, see, already burned off 2/10. Probably burn off a little bit more. You just can't let it get in your head. And you know, Desert Penguin's got a one-track mind in this Lexus. It's a fighter. Well, it looks like with all that battling, or just enough battling, Desert Penguin. Tires are starting to go on that car. Let's check on the Lexus. Yeah, he's certainly got more tire wear than any of the other drivers. But he seems to have adapted over the course of the season. Here in race 5, he's able to still kind of manage that car even with extreme tire wear. Well, you have to say it's impressive. Just a little over a quarter of the way through the race. Let's see. We've got race fan in the pits. What's going on here? We're early for that, no? Oh, it looks like he's been in there for a while, 3 laps. Oh no, the Ferrari giving up trouble. We'll have to check on the pit report to see what they say about what's going on with that team. Best Buy Ferrari sitting in the pits. Alright, so through the order. Turbo in the lead. Timlour close behind in second. Third, Mo Power. Fourth, Whitey, who seems to have fallen back a little bit. Guido in fifth. First of the Pro-Ams is hanging tough right behind Whitey. Johnny G in sixth. Has a little gap. He's hoping DesrtPenguin in seventh gets to battling with Moby here in eighth. And Gentleman Racing struggling in ninth. Essentially last place because we've got Race Fan in the pits. Yeah, it looks like the crew's still trying to work out what's going on with that car. We're hearing the ECU may have gone out in that car. Stay with this pack here. See what's doing. Ooh. Johnny with a nice line through the corner, but Penguin picks up another half-second penalty. Yeah, I think, you know, that's got to be down to the tires. He's just not able to get the kind of traction he needs through that turn one. See him here, he has to slow down to a crawl. Oh, and Moby gets on the power, not expecting DesrtPenguin to slow that much. Gets a little tail wag going on. Sorry about that. Little bump in the mic there, sorry. Yeah, you can see in the way that Lexus is moving that the tires are just ever so slightly starting to give way here and there. Yeah, see, it's having to deal with that understeer situation. Looks like the tires in the front, particularly the tires in the front are just going. It looked like one was a little more worn than the other one. Look at Moby, there he is. Let's go on board with Moby, see what he's seeing. Yeah, see the back end of the Lexus getting sideways. Oh, it's just barely able to keep it on track, but Moby's losing time here behind Penguin, no doubt. But, hey, listen, like we said, Penguin's a heck of a defender. Oh, yeah, we gotta go outside. Oh, and Moby picks up another half second. Oh, DesrtPenguin's racking up the penalties, but nothing he can do. He's got to just forge ahead and, let those things burn off. Went defensive there. Comes back to the racing line. Will this give Gentleman Racing an opportunity to draw closer? He's really back there struggling. Last lap for Penguin, 38.2. 2 seconds off of the previous lap. Over 2 seconds off. And here we go. There's Moby. On the inside. Yes. Able to make the move. Does the Penguin look to get it back? He doesn't. We've yet to have these track limit penalties decide a position. At the end of the race, guys always manage to burn off whatever time they've got. The field seems to spread out enough to let guys find a way to burn that off. And there he is. He burns off half a second right there. But he's still able to reel Moby in. That's that torque, man, I'll tell you. Yeah, it eats tires, but it keeps you in the game somehow. Oh, Desert Penguin goes inside. Moby chops his nose off. Oh, little contact, little argy-bargy. Oh, yes, there's contact there. And there goes Gentleman Racing. Takes advantage of it. Picks up 2 positions in one fell swoop. Oh, that's what he needed. He's got quite a gap in the point standings. Gentleman Racing does. As we mentioned at the start of the broadcast, Desert Penguin's sitting on 42 points, leading the Pro-Am championship. So Guido's looking like he's gonna, if he holds and finishes 5th, he's looking like he's gonna close that gap pretty strongly today. If Desert Penguin keeps struggling like he is. And just like that, position swap. Oof, oddly enough, with all that contact, neither Desert Penguin nor Moby picked up any damage. Let's see. Oh yeah, Gentleman Racing. You see his avatar looking back. He's not going to be able to hold his position. He's thinking he's going to go defensive right away. Let's go on board with... Whoa, there's no room there. Oh no, this could end in tears. Oh yeah, the contact. Any damage? No damage for Desert Penguin. How about Gentleman Racing? Oh, that was a risky move by Desert Penguin. Gentleman Racing clearly defending the inside. You know what though? We gotta say that we've seen and we've known. Oh, look at that. This is what I was gonna point out. We've seen that Desert Penguin's been suffering with some severe tire wear. So, I mean, you know, surely he took a peek, but I'm sure he didn't intend to make any contact. Probably just got on the brakes, and the tire wear was much worse than he expected. On top of the overspeed he was picking up from the draft. So, luckily, it didn't end up really bad for anyone. We're on lap 13 here, approaching the pit window. Be interesting to see what these guys, what kind of strategy these guys employ. And Gentleman Racing just not able to open up a gap at all. He goes defensive immediately. Oh, and he's hugging that line. Desert Penguin gets alongside. Oh, and yeah, Desert Penguin up to 7th. Looks like Gentleman Racing just got in a little too deep. Ran wide into the corner. Wasn't able to keep Desert Penguin behind him. It was inevitable though, from what it seems like. That torque from that Lexus is just legendary. So if the race were to finish as it is right now, barring these silly penalties, time penalties here, looks like Gentleman Racing would fall further behind Desert Penguin in the championship. So there it is. It's getting chippy now. With, Gentleman Racing peeking on the inside through that twisty section. Looks like Moby's gonna make a move. Looks like Moby's looking to make a move on Gentleman Racing. Look at this nose to tail action, lap after lap. And Johnny's just, can't forget about Johnny. He's just stepping away from these guys. 3.3 seconds on the penalty now. We've seen Desert Penguin struggling here today with the excessive tire wear, and Generally a very good and clean driver, just can't seem to get rid of the balance of these penalties. And it has to be said, early on in the race, I believe in lap 1, he had a little bit of contact with either Gentleman Racing and possibly one other car, and that's when the game awarded him a pretty sizable penalty. So this 2.7 that's showing here on the screen is not a track limits thing. It's that odd glitch with the penalty system that PD introduced a while back. So he's driving well. It's just, you know, don't think that those penalties are indicative of his driving today, because they're not really. I mean, you can see that he's taking pretty decent clean lines. He's being super aggressive, trying to hold on to that points lead. Does he get more penalty time? He doesn't. Well, Gentleman Racing doesn't. Let's see if, yeah, these guys had a little contact at the beginning of the race. Nobody went off, but you can see that they're still working to burn off that bogus time. Let's go on board with Gentleman Racing. This is him being able to stay with Desert Penguin right now is strictly due to tire wear. Gentlemen, on Desert Penguin's car. You can see Moby in the mirror there lurking. Gentleman Racing looking to apply some pressure on Desert Penguin here, maybe push him past his limit, given that his tires are shot. There you see it. Little contact. See if there's a penalty. Has to be said, we're missing a few drivers today. We're missing Ace Boy, Little Chicken Nugget, and some other miscellaneous drivers who signed up, attended a couple of races, and we haven't seen or heard from them since. But, you know, that's to be expected in sim racing. So you can see Gentleman Racing able to stay with Desert Penguin, but really not able to do anything. So barring a mistake from Desert Penguin, looks like this. Oh, and a little more contact. Now Moby gets in. Yeah. It's just like a blockade in the corners with the present condition of Desert Penguin's car. And he might have picked up a penalty for doing nothing, really. Just getting tapped in the rear end. So this has got to be resolved by PD, you know. Hopefully they do that soon. Well, it seems like support for the game is going to be dwindling now. They're looking to the next iteration of Gran Turismo, whatever that may be. And Turbos into the pits. Timlour stays out, looking to employ some strategy here, but he's how many laps will he stay out? At least one, from what we can see here. It doesn't look like he's got much more fuel to be able to do anything else. Whitey stays out as well. Mo Power also stays out. Guido stays out. Looks like Johnny G goes in at the halfway point. Lets these guys by. Yeah, and Gentleman Racing's falling back again. Everybody's tires are shot. Let's go look at DesrtPenguin's. Is Timlour going to pit? Very little fuel. Stays out for a second lap. Looking to maybe short fill. Have a shorter pit stop to bridge the gap to Turbo. Where's Turbo? Whitey hits the pits. Looks like Guido did as well. Timlour still out. Looks like Whitey, DesrtPenguin, Johnny who had pitted. Will he come out ahead of Whitey, Gentleman Racing, DesrtPenguin, and all those guys? Oh no, and he doesn't. Well, he does. No, Whitey's a pro, so he's ahead. Got Guido first among the Pro-Ams, Johnny G, DesrtPenguin. Yeah, it looks like Gentleman Race is going to be last to pit. Still out there on worn tires and low fuel. Last lap in the 137s. You can see steadily as he kept battling with DesrtPenguin and Moby. His lap time suffered. Like DesrtPenguin's running the brake bias to the rear. Gentleman Racing pits. Let's see if we can come out ahead. It doesn't look like it. Looks like Penguin and Moby are going to clear him, no problem. Time, but not much, and he's carrying the penalties. It's fun for the owner now that all the pit stops are done. Oh, they're not done. Low power's still out. He spoke too soon. Yeah, it looks to me like low power's going to go in. Turbo's going to get by him. Probably Timlour as well. And we'll have to see if Whitey's able to get by. There he is, into the pits. Stick with Whitey, see if he's able to come out ahead in this scenario. Tires coming off, just coming off. And Whitey's going through the final turn. Out. Whitey comes out just ahead, so he is able to get ahead of Mopower on the pit stops. Nicely done. That McLaren's nice on fuel and tires. But question: will he be behind them. Particularly on this track where high horsepower pays great dividends. With high horsepower comes great responsibility. Said that Stanley or something. Use that power responsibly. You can see he's pushing. It's going into the turn. It's kind of hot there. Alright, let's run through the order. In the lead, Turbo. Going to stretch his championship points lead. Second, Timlour. Trying to minimize the damage. Third, Whitey. Close behind in fourth, Mopower. Fifth, first of our Pro-Ams, Guido. Sixth, doing well in the Pro-Am class, looking to stay ahead of DesrtPenguin, Johnny G. DesrtPenguin finally burning a good lump of that bogus penalty time off. He's got it down to 1.1 seconds. Still 13 laps to go. He should be able to whittle that down. 8th, Moby, having fun with the Pro-Ams. 9th, Gentleman Racing. 10th, sorry race fam, bad ECU. Now we're hearing one of the cylinders is down as well. Terrible. Like things have settled down, the field's spread out. We'll have to watch this gap here. Looks like DesrtPenguin was able to make up some time on Johnny G, and he's definitely gonna be looking to close the gap to him and keep his championship advantage. Granted, DesrtPenguin's sitting on 42 points right now, and Johnny G's on 28, so 2 points. 4-point even spread. It's not gonna put a huge dent into Penguin's advantage over that particular driver. But this Guido situation, GTP Guido, who's running up here in 5th, is gonna grab a bundle of points. You know, he's gonna draw closer for sure. We'll have to have another overlay for you after next week's race. Next week's race, speaking of, is going to be at the Nürburgring GP circuit. Should be interesting. Interesting to see who loses and gains ballast and how that helps them out. Pretty much everyone in Pro-Am is steeped in the full complement of ballast, with the exception of Johnny G. So Johnny G's got to capitalize here on what he's been able to do in staying ahead of DesrtPenguin with a second place finish. He'd do well. Guido's sitting pretty because if he wins the Pro-Am class race, he's already at 3%. He's not going to pick up any extra weight, so this is an excellent performance for him. It's like DesrtPenguin's falling into the clutches of yeah, a little off track there. Yeah, he might be falling into the clutches of Moby. Johnny G running nice and smooth, able to maintain that gap. Interesting that the game doesn't really penalize drivers for, you know, taking a little bit of a wide line to set up their corner entry, as you see there, Johnny there. But if you run wide on exit, it definitely punishes you on that. Something to take into consideration when racing. This ghosting is so ugly. very pointy. A lot of brake ballast to the rear. Looks like. Oh, Gentleman Race is struggling mightily. The only reason he's even this close is thanks to that incident earlier between Moby and Desert Penguin. Just a tough day for the BMW driver. Johnny G running high 37s last couple of laps with Desert Penguin in the mid to low 37s. That does not bode well for Johnny. He's got to tighten up those times to keep those guys behind him. If he can just keep it in the low 37s, he'll be able to maintain this gap and finish ahead. We've got 9 laps to go. And there you see it, Moby closing in on Desert Penguin. Oh, Moby goes into the pits. What's this? Oh no, must have an issue with the Supra. New to the franchise, that Supra really is wedged into Group 4, but doesn't have the full Group 4 complement like a stripped down interior. So maybe there's an issue there. Yeah, and we're hearing that he's lost third gear in that car, so unfortunate. So now we've got Desert Penguin doesn't have to think about Moby anymore. He can just laser focus, as we know he does. Johnny G. And has Johnny G made up any time on Guido? He could be within striking distance. Ahead. It's going to be interesting to see who closes the gap to who here. Who here? I don't know. Yeah. Finishing up lap 26. On their way to the start of lap 27. Can one of them close the gap? Check on the leaders. Turbo, substantial lead over Timlour. Power with Whitey still in tow. Looks like Whitey might be doing some conservative strategizing. Yeah, looks like Whitey might be looking to just power a little deep into that turn. Defends the inside. Let's see what this looks like. Whitey on fresher tires here? In reality, he is not, actually. Let's check the other battle out. There isn't another battle right now. It's getting close. We're getting close. Whitey able to close in under braking. Puffs of smoke on the throttle for more power. Spinning the rear tires out of that corner. On board with Whitey. Does he go into this corner hot again? Is the pressure getting to him? See the aero wash working the McLaren there. Drop into that third gear, a little extra front end bite. Oh boy, and it looks like, yeah, it looks like Penguin's caught Johnny G, and Gentleman Racing is way back there. Now both these cars have that V8 power. Look at this Lexus. Oh my, that Lexus is just... Yep, and he gets alongside Johnny G. Granted, it's towards the outside, but look, he's already ahead, surging ahead. A little argy-bargy. Oh my. Any more? Any more argy-bargy here? Oh, and Johnny gets some wheel spin coming out of the corner. That's going to give Desert Penguin the advantage. A little side-to-side bumping there. Desert Penguin picks up the spot. Amazing. Just Lexus. I think the series inspectors are going to want to take a look at the throttle bodies on that car. Amazing. You can see the driver working that wheel hard. That front end's starting to look like it's fighting the driver. He's certainly got quite a bit more tire wear than Johnny. Oh yes, Johnny's able to do the over-under. Desert Penguin runs in hot to that corner there. Look, there it is, the torque. Really, really good driving here. It's getting chippy, but still pretty good. Oh, and it's 5 seconds worth of penalty. Oh, we're gonna have to stay with these guys here. Very, very chippy. Mechanics on these two teams just be staring over at each other. Johnny goes defensive, but he goes back to the original line. Desert Penguin, oh, almost locking up the front end. Oh, and he gets out in the sand. Oh no, oh, contact. Damage for Johnny. Engine damage for Desert Penguin. And this is only gonna help Gentleman Racing, who almost goes off in sympathy. Looks like Desert Penguin's he's gonna be forced to pit, we would think. Yes, and he's forced to pit. Johnny, by regulations, gotta go in with him, but he doesn't. Oh, and that's gonna give him that's gonna give him a penalty. He's gonna have to pit. Anytime there's contact between drivers and someone suffers enough damage to have to pit, it's mandatory that the other driver involved in that collision, regardless of fault, comes in and pits. Otherwise, you incur a time penalty, 5-second time penalty, which gets added to your time. There's been some scuttlebutt. That penalty was reduced. There's been some scuttlebutt back and forth about that penalty should be higher, but people's got to realize that 10 seconds, 5 seconds, it's a long time when you have a we usually have a larger grid. We usually have more than 8 cars. We usually running 12, 14 cars, so 5 seconds makes a huge difference when people are running nose to tail virtually the whole race. But he's taking his chances. He's figuring, you know what? See what I can do here. I didn't know he was pitting, and he was a ways back. He may not have realized that DesrtPenguin was going in, and may not have even known that DesrtPenguin had damage, since he's got some, but he's choosing to stay out. He's got left rear suspension damage. Is that going to give Gentleman Racing an opportunity here? This would be the second time that he's been the beneficiary of contact in this race, at Gentleman Racing, that is. And he needs, as we mentioned earlier, he needs to make up points to DesrtPenguin and Guido now at this point, with Guido taking off and scoring so well, or bound to score well. If he still finishes in 5th, he's going to pick up a bundle of points, close the gap. Guido's going to pick up a bundle of points, close the gap to DesrtPenguin. Looks like everyone's going to close the gap at least a little bit to DesrtPenguin. Unfortunately for him, terrible circumstance. He was handling that car so well. I mean, tires degraded, everything. It was just a good drive on DesrtPenguin's part. Through no fault of his own, he finds himself at the back. You know, the only reason he isn't further back is because we had 2 cars go out with mechanical issues. Like the Toyota had gearbox issues and the Ferrari had some ECU problems. From what we've heard from the paddock, it looks like the Ferrari and the Supra will be able to get the issues addressed and be in for race 6 next week at the Nürburgring GP circuit. Coming into the closing laps here, and Gentleman Racing is looking to grab another position, looking to capitalize on everyone's troubles in the back half of this grid, score some good points, especially having a dismal start to the season. Gentleman Racing is poor performance at Monza in particular, when it went off and they wrecked the chassis, had to get a whole new car basically. Just another little update. In 2 weeks' time, we're going to have the second of the endurance races that are built into the series. There's 3 races that run 90 minutes. Race 1 was at Catalunya. Back up to the leader here. We're closing in on the final laps. Yeah, so for endurance race 1 of the series was at Catalunya, and endurance race 2 in 2 weeks' time is going to be at Suzuka. Another driver favorite. And it looks like Gentleman Racing's pulled right up on Johnny. He's got 1 lap to make it work. This one and 1 more. And he's in there tight. Might be on the last corner. I mean, they've still got 1 more lap to go, but really not making up enough. Not showing that they're really in that much better shape than the Corvette. Getting there in the draft. Yeah, so 2 weeks' time, 90 minutes of Suzuka. Hopefully we get a larger grid for that race. It'd be a good one. Most of the time, drivers running a 2-stop strategy. Let's go on board with Gentleman Racing. really not drawing Johnny in. He's going to need a mistake from Johnny. Oh, that ghosting is terrible. Pressure. Inside, outside. Oh, Gentleman Racing goes to the inside. Does he hang Johnny out to dry? Well, now he's got the inside line again. Yes, and he picks up the position. Apologies. Our winner, Turbo, Timlour second, Mo Power third, Guido fourth, Whitey in fifth, sixth is going to be Gentleman Racing, seventh, Johnny G, eighth, Desert Penguin. Thanks for joining us. Much more eventful race than we would have expected, and see you next week for Nürburgring GP circuit. Thanks for joining us.